Chainsaw Man waifus.
You ever wonder how thick they are?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Well, after reading the entire manga in 2 days, both my brain is completely fucking fried, and I've been wondering how I could contribute to the Chainsaw Man community. What I could give to you guys as a gift. So here we go. This one's for all the snowball fight enthusiasts out there. Unfortunately, my main man Taksuki Fujimoto has given us absolutely no information on the size and or height of his characters. Because of that, I had no choice but to once again don my flappy hat, grab a pipe and a wrench, not a wrench, a magnifying glass, grab a pipe and a magnifying glass, and get to the bottom of this. In my last video, which was one of the greatest YouTube videos ever made, thank you very much, I uncovered the exact cigarette that the edgelord and the child predator smoked. But why'd I do that, huh? Because, my children, that was the only instance of a real-life item that I could find anywhere in the goddamn manga. So now we have these cigarettes with defined exact dimensions. Look at this beautiful man. This beautiful stick of poison and cancer is the key to eternal happiness and the circumference of Makima's ass. Here we have the best 3 frames to use for comparison. First, we'll try the face. This is Himeno. Bam! Cigarette. Bam! Measurement. Himeno's face is 10.2 centimeters from the middle of her eye to the bottom of her chin. Bam! Picture of her and the MC about to fall. Our measurements from earlier need to be adjusted just a little bit because Himeno's head was tilted in the original picture. Bam! From her eye to her chin, if her mouth was closed, is about 11.2 centimeters long. Bam! Dingy, our MC, is about 15.1 centimeters from the middle of his eye to the bottom of his chin. Now we take this picture and, using our measured length of his face, find that Denji is 246 centimeters tall, which is equal to 8 feet and 1 inch tall. Well, that didn't work out. Moving on to option number 2, I guess. And we find out that Dingy is actually 5 feet and 1 inch tall. In other words, he is either taller than the tallest living basketball player or almost a legal midget. And it was at this point that Cap realized that he was a fucking idiot. Basically, manga artists and animators have absolutely no obligation to draw their characters with consistent body proportions, let alone realistic ones. Look at this picture of Dingy. Do you see how small his head is compared to the rest of his body? Based on these proportions, he would probably be over 7 feet tall, pretty much no matter what I measured his face to be. So, what do? We do the best that we can with the information we're given. Denji is 16 years old, lives in Japan, and is supposed to be at least somewhat of a self-insert character. So he's probably the average Japanese 16-year-old male height of 5 foot 6 inches. And you know what? Let's actually make him slightly taller at 5 foot 7.5 inches, or 171 centimeters. And to get everybody else's height, we're just gonna use his dick as a measuring stick. Starting with Makima, who comes in at 161 centimeters tall. Second, we got Power at 160 centimeters. Third is Reze with 160 as well. Fourth is Kobeni at 151. And finally, we got Himeno at 173 centimeters tall. Here's everybody's heights laid out side by side because I know that I tend to move rather quickly in my videos and figure that, you know, I'd give you a chance to actually absorb some of the information. Okay, that's enough. Silence sucks unless you're meditating. Moving on! Now is where the real magic happens. I'm switching my detective gear for a top hat, a curly mustache, a suit with a tail, a wand, a monocle, and some boots with 10-inch spurs. Why the monocle and the spurred boots? Because I want them. I think they make me look cool. This is my video. I can do what I want. Don't judge me. Check it out. Now I'm a magical cowboy wizard. About to do some magic and shit. Anyway, let's finally get to what you all came here for, and let's transform these characters' heights into bust, waist, and hip measurements. We won't go through the entire process for every single girl because that'd be a giant waste of time. Instead, we'll do a detailed in-depth dive of Makima as an example, and then you can just assume that I basically did the exact same thing for everybody else. Because I did. So we know that Makima's height is 161, but most pictures that we use to determine other things will not be full body shots. So we'll take multiple body samples and determine that from her waist to the top of her head is actually 56 centimeters. Then we gather every goddamn detailed picture of her that we can find where she's either facing straight towards us or straight to the side, because angles fuck shit up. Remember that. Angles fuck shit up. Actually, you know what? Say it with me. Angles fuck shit up. Anybody anywhere ask how you're doing, stare at them dead in the eye and say, angles fuck shit up. They will be so confused, it will be glorious. Back to measuring. We got a giant ass Photoshop file. It is 4,000 by 3,200 pixels. We take a ruler to the first picture and adjust its size so that from the top of her head to her waist is 56 centimeters. I know that the ruler actually says 5.6 centimeters, but we're imagining that each millimeter on this ruler is actually a centimeter, and every 10 centimeters is actually a meter. And now we have a ruler that is correctly scaled to the picture. Then we just measure her bust, waist, and hips, and we repeat that process for every picture that we find to be usable. The more data points you have, the more accurate your numbers will be in the end. Thankfully, the numbers taken from these pictures were actually pretty consistent, so we can be confident in our results. Now we have a length and a width for each measurement that we're trying to determine. Add them together and double them, and we get some boxes. But we are not trying to gather a large following of impressionable children by playing Minecraft. Our women are not boxes. Instead, we're trying to gather a large following of impressionable children by using sex appeal. Duh. So we turn those boxes into boobs and butts. And we do that by comparing her blocks to the blocks of another character with known official sizes, preferably with a similar body type. What it basically comes down to most of the time is multiplying the boxes by a factor of somewhere between 0.8 and 0.91. And now I'm going to ask you to use your imagination and just, believe that I went through that entire process 5 times in a row, and now we're at the results. The smallest girl is Kobeni, standing tall at 151 centimeters, with a 67.5 centimeter bust, 45 centimeter waist, and a 68.5 centimeter hip. She is pretty much just an all-around tiny person, perfect for all you lolicons. Next is Reze, slinking on in at 160 centimeters tall, with a 72 centimeter bust, 50 centimeter waist, and 79 centimeter hips. Reze is still on the smaller side when it comes to chesticles, but shots such as this one show that my main man, Mr. Fujimoto, does not skimp when it comes to booty. He is truly an artist worthy of our praise. After Reze is Power, sharing the same height of 160 centimeters. However, she has some slightly thicker assets, with a chest size of 78 centimeters, except her bust isn't actually 78 centimeters, because just like the goddess heiress of Konosuba, she pads her chest. Thou hast prevaricated with thy friend. By underhand contrivances, undone me, and while my open nature trusted in thee, thou hast stepped in between me and my hopes, and ravished from me all my soul held dear. Thou hast betrayed me. So Power is still part of the Flat is Justice Itty Bitty Titty Committee gang. She's actually got a 73 centimeter chest, 50 centimeter waist, and an 86.5 centimeter hip. Just look at these pictures. My girl is built like a sexy hunk of T-Rex. She got some wheels on that chest. Next is Makima, towering over the other two at a whopping 161 centimeter height. That is a full centimeter, a big ol' 0.39 inches. Taller than the other two. Anyway, her bust is 78 centimeters, 50 centimeter waist, and a fucking, and 83 centimeters of dump truck, and an 83 centimeter dump truck of a duty dog, and an 83 centimeter dump truck of a duty dropper. Alliteration, I love it. Let's be real though, Makima's best asset is obviously her eyes. I can feel them staring into my soul. Last but not least is our actual tall girl, Himeno, coming in at 173 centimeters tall, with a bust of 89 centimeters, 55.5 centimeter waist, and 89 centimeter hip. Himeno is a departure from Fujimoto's typical thin girl with the bodacious booty archetype. Perfect for all you opie lovers out there in pursuit of the truth. And there you have it. All the beautiful ladies of Chainsaw Man lined up side by side with all their important physical stats for you to take in. Wait a minute. Oh shit! I almost forgot about the best waifu in the entire series! I almost forgot about Aki! You didn't think I'd forget about my boy, did you? Standing at 181 centimeters, Aki is our only waifu who's over 6 feet tall. The true benchmark for all actual top tier waifus. And he's actually got a bust of 96, 70 centimeter waist, and 76 centimeter hips. Damn! Get in here, Nezuko! Okay, now we got all the waifus lined up side by side for comparison. As I implied near the beginning of the video, these are pretty much just educated guesses. If I do say so myself though, these are some pretty damn good educated guesses. But guesses nonetheless. If we ever get a concrete and canon height of any of the characters, all you really need to do is scale my measurements accordingly. And I guess that's it. As always, the first 10,000 people to like, comment, and subscribe on this video will be entered into a lottery drawing with a chance to win a signed nose hair from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So make sure you do that, I guess, if you want that nose hair, Okay, now I'm off to make a video that's not about anime titties for once.
Now that's art!